Hey there, guys. Today we're going to have a fun day building some towers, or at least planning to build some towers today. And I am Mr. Hastings, and I'm going to help you guys to know what we're doing today. Okay, so the plan for today is to work on our science skills. That's right, science takes skills. You got to be good at it. And one of the two skills that we're going to be looking at today are using models and communicating information. Communicating information. Okay, I'm just going to abbreviate here. Communicating info. There we go. We're going to practice these things by having a little fun and building some skyscrapers. Just like that. Yep. So we've got our windows here, and just imagine that we're like 1,000 feet off of the earth. Okay, 1,000 feet up, and we're going to build some skyscrapers. Now they won't be 1,000 feet, but they're going to be pretty tall. Hopefully, the taller the better. The plan for the day is that we are going to build skyscrapers using only note cards, straws, like this. Straws. I promise that's a straw. Looks like a worm. Straws. You can use pieces of tape, and finally you can use paper clips. Those are your options for building. You can use those 4 things, and they all have a different cost. Okay, your team starts out with $1,000, and your team gets to spend that money however you want. Paper clips are going to run you $15. This is, I can't even tell what that is. Straws. Straws are going to cost you $20 a piece. Index cards up here, index cards, they're going to cost you $25 a piece. And here's the kicker, this tape is going to be $200 an inch. I know, tape, it's a hot commodity, so use it sparingly. And those are the 4 materials that you get to use to build your tower. You have $1,000, and that's how much they're all going to cost you. Before you guys jump into building your skyscraper, though, it's super important to have a plan. It's super important to know what you're going to do. And so if you have whiteboards or if you have a piece of paper or something like that, you and your team are going to get together and you're going to make a model. So if I was here and I was making a model, I would say, I want to have an index card on the bottom, and I want to have straws coming up like this to support it and go like up here, and then another index card here, and then I'm going to throw the egg as hard as I can at it. And no, I'm just kidding. You're not going to do that. And then you're going to rest the egg on top. The egg has to be on top, by the way. And you're going to do your best to make the tallest tower you can, and make it last for 20 seconds. So looking at this model, do you guys think this is a very good model? Take a second to think about that. No, right? It's probably not a very good model. What are some reasons that it's not such a good model? Well, nobody knows what these things are. So this little square here, I know it's an index card, but nobody else knows that that's an index card. It's hard to tell. And these things, what the heck are they? Are they straws? Are they green beans? Nobody knows. So a really important part with building models is to label everything you draw. Okay, so index cards, straws, this is the egg, this is another index card up here. And then another thing that this is missing, there's no way for me to tell how this is working. I have straws here and I have index cards here, but am I taping them down? Am I using paper clips to hold things down? Am I running a paper clip through the middle? What am I doing? And so it's good to draw out a little bit. So I can, if you want, you can draw and say, I had an index card at the bottom, blah, 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 etc., and actually write out exactly what you're doing and how everything's staying up. Having good notes like this and having a good model will allow you to build a much more accurate and hopefully solid tower. Plus, it'll help you to plan in the future. You can look at your model and say, what went wrong? What can I do to help this? And if anybody else is coming in and they want to look at your model, they can look and build it too. After you guys have done your model, make sure you draw that out. I'm switching to blue just to keep things interesting. Make sure you label, make sure you describe your model, and do the best you can to write accurately. But you also need to keep track of your expenses. So we're starting out with 1,000, and just keep track of how many note cards you use. So if you use, say you use like 100 paper clips, that's going to be $2,000. And so all of a sudden you look, oh, I'm $1,000 in the hole. So you know you can't do that, right? If you want to use 3 inches of tape, that's going to run you 600. So all of a sudden you're down to 400. And so make sure you keep a running tab of how much money you have so that you don't run out and end up sabotaging your plan. So those are the things that you really need to plan out. You need to have a model of your information, and then you need to have the budget. Okay, and then once you have those things, the other really important part of science is being able to tell people what you're doing. I think a lot of people, me included, can struggle to communicate ideas well. So after you have the model drawn and after you have the budget drawn up, go ahead and show it to your teacher, go ahead, or a substitute or whoever's there, show it to them. And if they can understand what you're doing and you can copy it down somewhere off of, if you're using a whiteboard, copy it down somewhere more permanent, and then they can start selling you the materials and you guys can start building.